How do we get that heat? Well, we get it through that extreme compression in a diesel engine. That creates heat. During a cold start, your glow plugs will create heat and heat up that cylinder chamber, as well as you have an air intake heater, and for an LB7 you have an air intake heater plug. For the later models you have a grid, and I'm not sure if what they run in the L5Ps, but that will also send hot air into those cylinders to help warm everything up. And then lastly, you got a fuel heater to send hot fuel in there, because if you're spending all that time trying to heat up a cold engine like instantly, and then you're throwing ice cold fuel back in there, especially if you live somewhere like here, if you live like anywhere where it's going to get down to freezing temperatures or below freezing or below zero, you know, you live somewhere where it's like -30, -40 degrees, you're sending ice cold fuel into your engine, and it's going to cool that down and kind of reverse everything that just went on with your glow plugs, your air intake heater. So this is another way to combat that. So I'm hoping that it works. And of course, you can also get a coolant block heater and a oil pan heater. And I have both of those, and those work great. If you plug them in, you know, for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours before you start your truck, it'll get things up to temp and it'll move that engine a little bit easier. So I'm going to give this a try. We'll see how it goes. And, you know, I know the complaints about these things. They really are a crappy design, even though the theory behind it, the idea behind it, I think is solid. Got a filter up in the engine bay, you got a heater right before it goes to your engine. However, these things are held together by a few screws and O-rings and are subject to a lot of heat and a lot of pressure. And so heat on an O-ring is going to cook them over time. They get dried and shriveled up, and that pressure is just going to blast through them, and then these things suck up all kinds of air. So I'm hoping that this is a worthy investment. We'll see. It was less than $100. It looks nice. It has all the connections I need. It has a new fuel filter. I'm going to go ahead and give it a go. So let's go ahead and get to this. All right, here we are in the engine bay. Here's our original filter housing. It's the one that came with the truck, I believe. And as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward installation, or uninstallation in this case. So normally I'd slap a T20 on there and unloosen this and then pull that plug. But however, since the new one comes with a whole new harness, we're just going to unplug that right from the clip there.